Hello, welcome back to 10 Minutes of Astrology. Today we're going to be talking about Mars in Scorpio. From 2034 to 2035, I want to gently remind you that I am going to stop the Mars series to 2035 so that I can go focus on the Venus series that I would like to start because there are many relationship things that I see come up that I haven't been talking about that I would like to start discussing. If you'd like to see me discuss a particular planet in a series like this, please drop it in the comments. And while you're in the comments section, look at my housekeeping. Without further ado, because I will ado, I am going to talk about this. So I like to start with what Mars is. It is war, action, determination, motivation, and work ethic. In Scorpio, it is in the place where it was originally ruled. So Mars was originally ruled by Scorpio until we found Pluto. And then that transitioned to Scorpio being the ruler of Pluto and Aries being the sole ruler of Mars. So Mars is comfortable here. This is acting in the background. This is the general kind of taking charge in the background and basically making all of the really big quiet moves. Think infiltration in the middle of the night type. Scorpio is definitely night owl type. And this action here is, I'm not going to say quite secretive, although it absolutely can be because Scorpio likes to hold on to things to use later. They like to be quiet. They don't tell a lot of people what they're doing, what they're thinking. They are background watchers. If they're at the party, they're the ones observing the party goers and sizing people up. So this is and the other thing that I will say is Scorpios here are about to receive some yads like Virgo has been receiving, especially with this alignment. So another gentle reminder to Scorpios, don't want to get on your bad side, but there are now yads pointing at you between Chiron and Jupiter coming up that I want you to be aware of and be mindful of, and I will talk about some of that here just a little bit. Now, the first thing, a little bit, we're coming directly into it. We have the inconjunct to Chiron retrograde in Gemini at 3 degrees, and then we have an inconjunct to Jupiter in Aries at 4 degrees. This creates that yod, which a yod is the finger of God. So in astrology, the finger of God can play out in two different ways. If you're on the right side, then this is God helping you through this and aiding you in a way. It's kind of like a miracle, you weren't expecting the help, you weren't expecting the assistance, and it's like divine intervention. The other side to this is God pointing you out and calling you out and giving you the lesson or the morality check that is desperately needed, because it's only if you're truly in the wrong, you're going to feel God spanking you. So I don't want the yod to seem like it's all negative. It can be, but it has positives if you are doing things correctly. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer of the zodiac, so healing in others that which you struggle to heal with in yourself. Well, in Gemini, it's of the mind. It is your mental health. It is the duality in your brain. It's the you traveling locally to help heal, to help bring healing, to help heal yourself. It's a symbiotic healing of the mind, but it can also be chaos in the mind that is driving you to ill health as well. Then we have Jupiter and Aries, which is expanding on the self. It is expanding on what you want, how you want, in a really big way that's going to bring you luck. Now, these two are in conjunct, creating the yod to Mars in Scorpio. So what does that mean? Well, we have our mental health stuff at play, which an inconjunct would be irritating. You're acting in the background, not really doing a whole lot, just observing. So this may be telling you, hey, you need to play a more active role in this. But Mars in Scorpio could also say, hey, yeah, but your mental health is all kinds of crazy quirky right now. I'm just going to time out. Um, and then the inconjunct to Jupiter, these really big things that are getting out of hand that are possibly your own doing, or because somebody has been very selfish. They want to be loud. They want to make it about themselves. They want, it's Aries is the infant of the zodiac. So it is very instinctual. It's very natural. It's very forceful. It's aggressive. So this in conjunct with Mars could be, why don't you come talk? Why don't you come join this big old fight? And Mars and Scorpio is like, no, I'm good back here. I'm good. And that bothers Jupiter and Aries because this is a really big thing you need to be involved in. And it's like, no, I don't. I'm good right here. And all the same, all of that drama, big, crazy of it's just coming at you. And Aries is a fighter for sure. Scorpio is too, though. They're both rulers of Mars. So I believe that Mars is going to be kind of in a better place than Jupiter and Aries because Mars likes both of these signs. But the yod here is basically pointing out the negative would be you just playing in the background. You're not contributing to all the chaos that's happening that you need to intervene to stop. That's on you. The positive to this is God pointing you out and going, no, you're safe right where you are. Stay right where you are. So wherever you are in life at that moment, listen to your higher power, your intuition, and when it comes to the things that are hidden and are secretive that you're trying to, I really think that Mars and Scorpio is really trying to cover up some, it could be a big sexual thing because Scorpio does rule the sex organs. So whatever that is, it's being pointed out by God. I usually view yods negatively, so it could be that you're not being forthcoming and you're being secretive could backfire on you. Then we have a square to Saturn in Leo, which is retrograde at 5 degrees. So one right after another. Saturn in Leo is the right stable thing to do for your creativity, for your family, for your happiness. And that is squaring off with Mars in this very low-key working place. And that's basically saying, it's like if you're arguing with your family and they're telling you that your creativity and the things that make you happy don't matter. That's very hurtful. That's very painful. And anything with Leo and Scorpio together causes delusions. So I don't want you, it's not rose-colored glasses. That's a Cancer vibe, but I don't want you to take what they say personally, because I have a feeling that somebody's going to say something intentionally harmful to you or do something to intentionally harm you in the background that's very painful. And at this point, you can't take it personally because then it's going to get out of hand. Then it's going to be Scorpio being background petty and passive aggressive, and Leo here wanting to be the light and wanting to fight for their own stability and their own family and their own creativity and the things that matter to them. And Saturn's in a very passionate place, and so that passion can definitely be dampened by Scorpio. They can make you feel small, insignificant, and Leo here can also be selfish to a degree because they want the center of attention. Basically, that's where they're going to feel comfortable and stable. So this is a really hard aspect, especially for your emotional health, and I would say mental health to a degree, but it's deeper than that. It's a deep wound that hurts like your kind of liveliness and your vibrancy that you were starting to feel so stable with. Then we have a trine to Uranus in Cancer, which is retrograde. So the crazy emotional chaos you are connecting with in a way that you can act upon in this background manner. It's background healing. It's background sorting through these emotions and this baggage. And, it's basically saying, even though it's spontaneous emotions, it's also spontaneous healing in those emotions, healing in the country and the motherland and the homeland with your family, with your mom. And even though this was just very painful, it's awakens something in us so much deeper that we should matter to us, and I matter to me, and the things that I want to do, even though they're in the background, I don't have to tell you about all of them. I can sort out my own emotions. So this is healing in a very strange way, with Uranus, especially because Uranus is very sporadic. And yeah, I mean, I like it, but it's just very different. Then we have a square to Pluto, which is Scorpio's home planet, in Aquarius at 16 degrees. So this square is the change for the collective that's been happening and been random and been chaos. This age of Aquarius is definitely something. That is square, you're acting in the background, so you're not doing for the collective that they need, the way that they need you to. And quite frankly, the collective changing is why you are just hanging out in the background, because if you don't know what to expect, what are you supposed to do with that? If you don't know which change is coming from which direction and why, you're going to sit back and wait for it to all happen and then do something. But why are you going to do something in the middle of all that? And Pluto in Aquarius is like, okay, well, we no longer care what you're doing then, and we're going to do whatever we need to do to survive. And, it's basically, oh, what do you call it? Method to the madness. There is a method to the madness, but it is a lot of madness. So, do what you will with that. Then we have an inconjunct to Neptune, which is the spirits, the ethereal, the higher power, the energy that controls us all, and Aries, which is selfish, about you, do what you gotta do, how you gonna do it. It's aggressive spirituality. This is inconjunct at 19 degrees, approximately December 26, 2034. And this is irritating because God is basically calling out your lack of action or your being standoffish and observant in this moment, and saying, come on, we're all in this like, even though it's Aries, it's like we're all in this together, because that's Pluto. We just got through with that. And for the highest form of self, for your highest energy, like, you're gonna have to do something. And Mars in Scorpio is like, God, quit testing me. Please, God, quit testing me. I am done with the tests. This is another place where you're tested. And it's a small irritation, but still, it's like another one, another one, another one. So then Mars goes into Sagittarius approximately January 11th, 2035. I wrote 25 because I'm in 2025, but this is January 11th, 2035. So best of luck with all that. Please remember, press all the buttons. Peace out, fam. Much love.